Chosen one. Stop everything for a moment and listen. Heaven has paused for you. The angels have been released, and your name has been spoken in the courts of eternity. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven has ordered your steps. Every breath you take is evidence that God is not finished with you yet. You are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. You were chosen, set apart, and marked by the living God for such a time as this. You may wonder why life has felt so heavy, why battles have raged around you, while others walked in ease. It is because heaven saw fit to place a weight of glory upon you that the ordinary cannot carry. Your existence itself disrupts the kingdom of darkness. Even in the times you thought you were forgotten, your name echoed through heaven's chambers, and angels stood ready to move at the sound of God's command concerning you. Listen carefully. You may have thought that the pain you endured was punishment, but no. Chosen one. It was preparation. Every sleepless night, every tear that fell onto your pillow, every silent prayer whispered in desperation, none of it was wasted. The God who sees in secret has heard you, and when you felt like your prayers hit a ceiling, the angels were already dispatched with answers in their hands. Heaven has not been silent. Heaven has been waiting for the exact appointed time, and that time is now. The psalmist wrote in the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 23, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. He delights in his way." Do you realize what it means for your name to be called in heaven? It means that when others were overlooked, you were chosen. It means that when others settled for mediocrity, God pulled you aside for greatness. It means that when others bowed to compromise, heaven marked you as one who cannot be bought, one who cannot be broken, one who cannot be silenced. You carry something eternal inside of you, and the enemy knows it. That is why the warfare has been so intense. But hear this, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You may have felt the blows, but you were never destroyed. You may have been knocked down, but you rose again. You may have cried, but your tears watered the soil of your destiny. And now, the angels have been released to guard, to guide, and to push you into the place God has ordained. Now is the time to rise. Shake off the dust of the past. Lay aside the chains that tried to hold you down. Heaven has not only called your name, it has assigned angels to carry you forward. Every distraction that tried to derail you will fall away. Every voice that tried to silence you will be muted. You were born to shine, and heaven has lit the fire inside of you that cannot be quenched. Beloved, this word is for you, not for tomorrow, not for next year, but for now. You are standing in the doorway of destiny. Heaven has declared it. Angels are enforcing it. Your role is to believe it and to step forward in faith. You are chosen. You are marked. You are unstoppable. If this message burns within your spirit, do not stay silent. Show your agreement in the realm of faith. Like this message. Share it so that another chosen one may awaken, and subscribe so you never miss the sound of heaven calling your name again. And right now, as a prophetic act, I invite you to comment below the number 777, the number of divine completion, the number that declares heaven has sealed your destiny. Chosen one. You have been marked by fire. This is why life has never allowed you to settle into comfort. You were never called to the ordinary. From the moment heaven spoke your name, The hand of the Almighty touched your spirit with a flame that has burned ever since. Others may not recognize it, but the unseen realm knows exactly who you are. You are set apart, and the mark upon you terrifies the kingdom of darkness. Everywhere you go, atmospheres shift. People cannot always explain why they feel unsettled or stirred in your presence. But it is because the fire of God burns within you. This flame is not of your own making, it is divine. It is the evidence that heaven has placed ownership on your life. You are not your own. You belong to the one who formed you, and he has placed his seal upon you in fire. Think back. Chosen one. How many times did you walk into places where the enemy had laid traps for you? Yet you walked out untouched. How many moments did danger close in around you? Yet it could not consume you. This is because the fire you carry creates a hedge of protection. Demons recognize it. Darkness cannot withstand it. And though you may feel weary at times, heaven has not let the fire go out. This holy fire is also a refining fire. It has burned away people, places, and habits that could not travel with you into destiny. You may have mourned their loss, but heaven rejoiced, for the flame was making room for your calling. The seasons of stripping were not cruelty, they were divine surgery. You are lighter now, able to move with greater authority because the unnecessary weight has been burned off. The prophet Jeremiah spoke, as recorded in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. These words are not vague promises, they are declarations over your life. The fire within you is evidence that his plans are alive, guiding you, pushing you. Even when you resist, you are being led not into destruction, but into destiny. Chosen one. Many have misunderstood you. They have labeled you strange, intense, or different. But what they cannot grasp is that heaven's mark has always set you apart. You were not designed to blend into the crowd. You were designed to stand out, even when it meant walking alone. That isolation you endured was not rejection, it was consecration. God hid you so that no one could dilute or destroy the fire he placed within you. This fire also carries weight. It is not just to protect you, it is to empower you. You have authority in your voice, even when you do not feel it. Your prayers shake the unseen. Your words carry life or death. This is why the enemy has tried so hard to silence you, to keep you questioning your worth, to convince you that your fire was just imagination. But deep down, you know, the flame within you is real. It has carried you when nothing else could. Beloved, you are entering a season where this fire will increase. What felt hidden will become visible. The same flame that once refined you will now radiate through you. People will begin to see what heaven has always known, that you are chosen, marked, and burning with a fire that cannot be quenched. And though the darkness will try to resist, it will fail, because the flame is not yours, it is God's. So lift your head, chosen one. You are branded by eternity. You are marked by fire. You are unstoppable because heaven's flame is within you. Chosen one. You have heard whispers in the night, when the world was asleep and your heart was heavy. Your spirit caught sounds from heaven. Those quiet moments when you thought no one saw your pain. When the tears rolled silently onto your pillow, heaven was wide awake. The angels leaned close to hear your cries. Not one tear fell unnoticed. Not one prayer was lost in the dark. There were nights you thought your words disappeared into silence. You asked, God, do you hear me? Do you see me? And though you heard no answer in the moment, your cry was recorded in the throne room of heaven. Every sigh, every groan, every trembling whisper was taken seriously. Angels were dispatched, carrying instructions written with your name. They did not forget. They did not delay. They moved at the sound of His word over you. Think carefully about those seasons. Remember when you almost gave up, when despair wrapped itself around your soul. Somehow strength arrived. Somehow courage was reborn. Somehow you found the ability to stand again. That was no accident. That was the whisper of heaven becoming the movement of angels. They came to you when you thought you were abandoned. They stood guard when you thought no one cared. Chosen one, God has always been near in the night hours. He allowed the silence so your faith could grow. But He never left you alone. The truth is, the whispers you heard were not your imagination. They were the language of heaven, quietly stirring your spirit, keeping you alive when death wanted you gone, keeping you hopeful when despair wanted you crushed. The psalmist testifies in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." That is where you have been, even when you didn't realize it. In the darkest nights, you were still hidden under His shadow, covered, protected, preserved. You are proof that the whispers of heaven are more powerful than the shouts of the enemy. Beloved, the reason the night was long is because your calling is great. Heaven did not waste words on you. Your prayers became seeds, and angels were sent to water them until the time of harvest. You may not have seen movement immediately, but activity in the unseen was shifting everything in your favor. And now, chosen one, you are standing at the edge of fulfillment. What you whispered in tears will soon manifest in joy. I want you to pause right now and let this truth sink in. You were never unheard. You were never abandoned. Those nights of loneliness were sacred altars where heaven bent low to meet you. The whispers you thought were weakness were actually strength. The prayers you thought were too small were actually keys unlocking heavenly responses. Now, I invite you, as a prophetic act of recognition, to comment these words, "Still listening." It may appear simple, but this is no ordinary phrase. Writing it is your way of declaring, God, even in the silence, I trust you. I am tuned to your whispers, not the noise of fear. Every time you say it, you are reminding both heaven and the enemy that your ears are open and your spirit is ready. It is a seal of agreement that you remain sensitive to the voice of God. Chosen one, this is your assurance. The night seasons did not break you. They built you. The whispers did not confuse you. They called you. And the angels have not left. They are still with you, still guarding you, still moving with you. You are never alone. Chosen one. Rejection has been the shadow that walked beside you for years. From childhood to adulthood, you have felt the sting of being overlooked, misunderstood, or cast aside. People who should have stood with you turned away. Opportunities you thought were yours slipped from your hands. Friendships and relationships crumbled without explanation. To the natural eye, it appeared as though you were unwanted, but heaven whispers a different truth. Rejection was never your ruin, it was your protection. Every closed door that wounded your heart was in fact a shield. Heaven was not punishing you, Heaven was saving you. The hands that pushed you away were hands that could not be trusted with your destiny. The rooms that refused you were rooms that would have smothered your flame. The voices that silenced you were not worthy to hear the song God placed in your spirit. You thought you were being stripped of belonging. But in reality, you were being set apart, chosen one. Isolation was not a curse. It was consecration. God needed to separate you from the noise of people so that you could hear the voice of heaven clearly. While others enjoyed comfort in the crowd, you were being drawn into the wilderness. It was in that wilderness that God taught you resilience, sharpened your discernment, and made your spirit unbreakable. The wilderness was not the end. It was the beginning of your calling. You have carried loneliness like a cloak. Yet even in that loneliness, heaven was near. The very silence that tormented you was shaping your ears to hear whispers no one else could hear. The ache in your chest, the emptiness of being misunderstood, those were the tools heaven used to carve out space for glory. Had you been embraced by everyone, you would have lost the uniqueness of your identity. But by being rejected, you discovered your true belonging was never in people. It was always in God. The Apostle Paul affirms in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." That is why rejection did not destroy you. It exposed your weakness so that God's strength could rise within you. Every no became the soil where His grace grew stronger. Every absence of human support forced you to lean deeper on divine strength. And now, chosen one, you stand as living proof that what was meant to break you only built you. Remember those who walked away from you. Remember those who doubted you. Remember those who whispered lies about you. Do not curse them, for they were unknowingly instruments of heaven's design. If they had remained, you would not be who you are today. Their absence created space for heaven's presence. Their rejection carved the path to your promotion. Their silence allowed you to hear the roar of destiny. Chosen one. Do not despise the seasons when you felt forgotten. They were the secret places where God refined your character, tested your faith, and purified your motives. Those hidden years, though painful, became holy. You were being prepared for an unveiling. And now heaven is ready to release you in fullness. Lift your eyes beyond the scars of rejection. See the greater truth. You were never unwanted. You were chosen, cherished, and hidden in plain sight. Heaven's favor has always been upon you. And when the right moment arrives, the very people who dismissed you will witness what God was building in you all along. Chosen one. Open your spirit wide, because you are not walking alone. The moment your name was called in heaven, angels of war were released on your behalf. They are not passive beings floating in the distance. They are mighty warriors, carrying swords of fire, surrounding you on every side, even when you cannot see them. They are present, guarding your steps, warring against forces you could never defeat on your own. You have felt the pressure of the battle. You have sensed resistance when trying to move forward. That heaviness was not just circumstance, it was the clash of kingdoms. Darkness sought to entangle you, but the angels of the Lord stood as a wall between you and destruction. Many times, you thought you were fighting alone, but if your eyes could open for just one moment, you would see the hills filled with blazing warriors standing ready. Chosen one. You are a target because you are a threat. The enemy fears the destiny you carry. but heaven has not left you defenseless. Angels of war have been sent not just to protect you, but to push you into victory. They are escorts of destiny, clearing paths that seemed impossible, opening doors that no human hand could touch, and breaking chains that years of striving could not loosen. Do you remember the accidents you narrowly avoided, the moments of danger that could have taken your life, the nights when fear tried to overwhelm you, but peace suddenly washed over you? Those were not coincidences. Those were angelic interventions. While you thought you were simply lucky, the truth is you were covered by heaven's army. The prophet David declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? That same assurance is yours." Chosen one. The presence of these angels is not to make you proud, but to keep you fearless. You walk into every space knowing you are not outnumbered. Even if the world turns against you, heaven has already surrounded you. Understand this: the angels of war are not distant. They move at the sound of God's word spoken through your mouth. When you declare truth, they enforce it. When you pray in faith, they act. When you worship, they rise in strength. This is why your voice is so important. You are not just speaking, you are activating armies. And now, chosen one, I want to pause and speak to your heart with sincerity. If this message is stirring you, if it feels as though it is confirming what you already sensed deep inside, then I invite you to stay connected. These words are not mere motivation, they are lifelines. Reminders from heaven that you are not abandoned. By simply liking this message, you allow it to be carried further, reaching another chosen one who feels alone. By sharing, you become a vessel of encouragement, a messenger extending heaven's call to someone who is on the verge of giving up. And by subscribing, you are choosing to remain under a steady flow of truth, so that your spirit is never starved again. This is not about numbers. This is about souls, yours and others. Every simple act of support is a thread in heaven's net, pulling more lives into the awareness of God's plan. Your light was never meant to burn alone. It was meant to ignite others. So, walk forward. Chosen one. Confident that angels of war march with you. Lift your head high, knowing you are guarded, guided, and destined for triumph. You are surrounded by heaven's might, and no darkness can withstand the army that stands by your side. Chosen one. Have you noticed the signs, the repeating patterns, the numbers that appear at unexpected times, the moments that feel too precise to be coincidence? Heaven has been speaking to you in ways the natural mind often dismisses. These are not random occurrences. They are confirmations, prophetic signals that your path is aligned with God's plan. You may have seen them on clocks, receipts, or even in passing glances, sequences that repeat until you cannot ignore them. Each time, something in your spirit stirs, as if heaven is whispering, "Pay attention. This is for you, chosen one." Heaven uses numbers as language, a way of affirming that your steps are ordered, that your journey is not wandering, but intentional. Why would heaven send you such signs? Because your calling is too important for you to drift aimlessly. The enemy has worked tirelessly to confuse you, to make you believe you are lost. Yet heaven consistently breaks through the fog with symbols and confirmations, reminding you, you are on the right path. Think back. Chosen one. How many times did you feel uncertain about a decision? only to notice a number repeating again and again, as though heaven itself placed a banner before your eyes. That was not coincidence, it was divine alignment. The Spirit was reassuring you, saying, I am here. Keep going. Do not fear. The prophet Habakkuk wrote in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, For the revelation awaits an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it. This means the visions, the signals, and the patterns you have seen are pointing to something appointed, something that is coming. You may not fully understand it yet, but heaven is making sure you do not miss it. Beloved, prophetic numbers are not about superstition. They are about relationship. They remind you that God is close, that He is speaking, and that even the smallest details of your life are under His watchful eye. Every repetition is a touch on your shoulder from eternity, saying, I have not forgotten you. Your time is near. And chosen one. Do not ignore these signs. Embrace them as the love language of heaven. They are confirmations that what you prayed in secret has reached God's ears. They are reminders that what you thought was delayed is still in motion. They are evidence that angels are actively working on your behalf. And now, as a prophetic act of agreement, I ask you to write this number in the comments, 444. Do not underestimate this moment. It may feel simple, but it carries weight. 444 is a declaration that you are aligned with heaven's order and protection. It represents the stability and foundation God is laying beneath your feet. By commenting it, you are saying, I receive heaven's confirmation. I walk in divine order. I stand under angelic protection. It is not about the digits. It is about the faith you attach to them. Every time you declare 444, you are silencing the doubts that told you you were wandering. You are reminding yourself that your steps are not random. You are affirming that heaven has marked your path and angels are stationed on every side. So pay attention. Chosen one. Watch for the signs. Listen for the whispers. And step boldly into alignment. Heaven has spoken in symbols, and your spirit has understood. You are not lost. You are chosen. And heaven is guiding you step by step. Chosen one. Though the world may not recognize it, you carry a crown upon your head. It is unseen by human eyes, but heaven has placed it there long before you ever knew your purpose. This crown is not crafted from earthly gold or jewels. It is formed from obedience, faith, and the very glory of God resting upon your life. You walk as royalty, not because of what you have done, but because of the one who has called and chosen you. People may look at you and see someone ordinary, even broken at times. They may remember your mistakes, your failures, your scars, but heaven sees differently. While others judge by the outer appearance, God sees the heart, and in your heart, He has already placed authority. The crown you carry is proof that your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven, that your destiny is sealed by divine decree. Chosen one. This is why you have never fit in. Royalty cannot blend into the crowd. You were never designed to shrink into mediocrity. The crown you carry demands distinction. It requires you to walk differently, speak differently, and choose differently. You have felt the weight of this calling, even when you could not explain it. That weight was your crown resting on your spirit. Do not despise the crown, even when it feels heavy. Royalty comes with responsibility. You were not crowned for comfort. You were crowned for calling. The authority you carry is not for you alone, but for the lives you will touch. The chains you will break, and the light you will bring into places of darkness. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift not because of who you are in yourself, but because of the crown upon you. The Apostle John records in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This promise is tied to your crown. Doors open for you, not by chance, but by divine appointment. Authority has already been placed upon your head, and heaven ensures that no one can remove it. What God crowns, no enemy can dethrone. Chosen one, you may not feel worthy of this crown. Perhaps your mind reminds you of failures and shame, convincing you that you are disqualified. But understand this, the crown was never given because of your perfection. It was given because of your identity. You are chosen, and nothing can revoke that. Your crown is not fragile, it is eternal. Consider this truth. Every time you survived what should have destroyed you, your crown shone brighter. Every battle you overcame polished the crown with greater glory. Every prayer you whispered in pain was another jewel embedded into its design. What looks invisible in the natural is radiant in the spirit realm. Angels bow in recognition of what you carry. Even when people dismiss it, walk with confidence. Chosen one, not arrogance, but holy assurance. You do not need to prove yourself, because your crown speaks louder than your words. You do not need validation from people when heaven itself has crowned you. Your task is to wear it faithfully, to walk in the authority already placed upon you, and to remember that you are never ordinary. Lift your head, for the crown rests there. Straighten your shoulders, for royalty carries weight. Step forward, for doors will yield to your presence. You carry an unseen crown, and it testifies that heaven has called your name. Chosen one, the seasons of pain you endured were never wasted. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every moment you felt crushed under the weight of life, they were not meaningless. They were contractions, groans of the spirit, preparing to birth something greater within you. What you thought was the breaking of your life was, in truth, the birthing of your destiny. When a child is born, pain comes first. The contractions intensify, the body shakes, and the mother feels as though she cannot endure. Yet out of that agony emerges new life, full of promise and purpose. So it has been with you, chosen one. The agony you felt was not to destroy you, but to bring forth what was hidden inside. There were moments you whispered, "Why? God, why do I have to go through this?" You felt abandoned, as though heaven had turned its back. But in reality, heaven was closer than ever. The breaking was heaven's midwife, standing beside you, urging you to push through. Without that pressure, the destiny within you could not have emerged. Chosen one, understand this, the breaking was necessary. Without it, you would have clung to comfort, resisted growth, and stayed bound to the familiar. The pain forced you to let go. The sorrow stripped away. The false supports you leaned on. The loneliness drew you into the secret place with God. It was never punishment, it was preparation. The Apostle Peter reminds us in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 10, "And the God of all grace will himself restore you and make you strong, These words are living proof that what broke you will not be the final word. Restoration is already written into your story. You may have felt shattered, but the pieces were being rearranged into a stronger design. Think about it. Chosen one. When pottery is broken and mended with ordinary glue, the cracks remain scars of weakness. But when refined through fire, those cracks can be filled with gold, making the vessel more precious than before. That is you. Your cracks are not shameful, they are radiant with glory. The breaking has only made you more valuable in heaven's eyes. You are entering the birthing. This is why the warfare increased just before your breakthrough. The enemy sensed what was coming and sought to intimidate you into quitting. But you did not quit. You kept breathing. You kept pressing. And now, heaven is declaring, it is time to push. Beloved, the birthing will reveal what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. The gifts long buried inside of you will begin to flow like rivers. The calling that felt distant will stand in front of you. The authority you questioned will rise within you. All of it is the child of pain, birthed through fire and sustained by grace. Chosen one. Never despise the breaking. Embrace it as part of your testimony. Every scar you carry tells a story of survival, of pushing through when giving up seemed easier. Your scars are not disfigurements, they are badges of honor. They prove you carried life within you, and you refused to let it die. So stand tall. The birthing is here. What once crushed you is about to crown you. What once broke you is about to bless you. You are stepping out of the shadows of sorrow and into the light of destiny. The breaking and the birthing were always one and the same. Chosen one. The struggles you have endured were not in vain. The weight you have carried, though unbearable at times, was never random. It was preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. The weight of glory. Not everyone can bear it. Not everyone is chosen to carry such a mantle, but you were. That is why your journey has been harder than most. Heaven was strengthening you for an assignment few could survive. Think of the moments when you felt crushed beneath pressure. You asked yourself, why me? Why must my battles be so intense? The answer lies in the very fire you have walked through. Fire purifies gold. Pressure forms diamant. Without the crushing, without the refining, the treasure hidden within you would never have emerged. Chosen one. You were refined to carry the immeasurable weight of heaven's glory. The world may see only your scars, but heaven sees your strength. Those scars are not marks of shame, but proof of your endurance. You have stood when others would have fallen. You have pressed on when giving up was easier. And because of that, you are entrusted with something eternal. Glory rests upon you not because you sought it, but because you survived what others could not. The Apostle Paul assures us in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. This is the reality of your life. The glory you carry will expand beyond your expectations. The very things you thought were losses will become testimonies of victory. The pain you thought disqualified you has actually qualified you for greater authority. Chosen one. The enemy knows this. That is why he fought you so fiercely. He saw glimpses of what you carry, and he tried to break you before the fullness could emerge. But you were not broken. You were forged. The more the enemy attacked, the stronger your spirit became. And now, the weight of glory is visible in your very presence. You carry light in your words, strength in your silence, and authority in your prayers. Do not underestimate yourself. What you carry is not small. It is not fragile. It is the eternal breath of God resting upon you. When you walk into a room, darkness senses it. When you pray, chains begin to rattle. When you declare truth, lees collapse. This is the weight of glory, an unseen mantle that shifts the very atmosphere around you. But with great weight comes great responsibility. You cannot live as the ordinary live. You cannot compromise as others compromise. The crown you carry, the mantle upon your shoulders, demands discipline. It demands purity, courage, and faithfulness. Chosen one. You are called to walk differently because what rests on you is not for you alone, it is for generations to come. Now, I invite you to seal this truth with a simple declaration. Write in the comments, "Glory rests here." These 3 words may seem small, but they carry prophetic power. By writing them, you are not just repeating a phrase, you are acknowledging that heaven's glory dwells upon your life. You are declaring to the unseen world that you accept the weight, that you embrace the mantle, that you will not run from the responsibility heaven has placed on your shoulders. Chosen one. This is your reality. The weight of glory is not crushing you, it is crowning you. It is not burying you, it is birthing you. And as you carry it, your life will testify that heaven chooses carefully, and heaven chose you. Chosen one. Destiny is no longer waiting at a distance. The doors that once seemed sealed shut are now swinging open before you. What you could not force with effort, what you could not manipulate with strategy, heaven has already commanded to yield. Every delay you faced, every obstacle that stood in your path, is now bowing to the authority of the one who called you. For years, it felt as though you stood knocking and nothing answered. You pressed, you prayed, you wept, and the doors refused to move. But chosen one, understand this, it was not denial, it was timing. Heaven's calendar does not follow human clocks. The silence was not rejection, it was alignment. Now, at the appointed moment, the locks are breaking, and the hinges are loosening. The door that once resisted you cannot remain closed any longer. The Apostle John records in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This is your word." The door is not opening by accident. It has been placed before you by God Himself. No enemy can close it. No critic can block it. No power of darkness can seal it again. Heaven's decree is final. What is yours is opening now. Chosen one. These doors are not ordinary. They are doors to assignments, opportunities, and connections that have been divinely prepared. You may step through one and suddenly see acceleration in areas that once felt barren. You may walk through another and find resources waiting that you could never have accessed in your own strength. This is not random favor. It is the unfolding of a script written for your life before you were born. The enemy knows it too. That is why resistance increased before now. The closer you drew to the threshold, the harder the pushback became. You felt discouragement, distraction, even betrayal. All of it designed to make you turn back just before the door opened. But you did not turn back. You kept walking, even limping, even vaping. And because of your persistence, heaven has rewarded you with an open path. Chosen one. You must also understand, walking through these doors requires courage. Some of them will lead you into unfamiliar territory. Some will demand you to leave behind old patterns and step into new responsibilities. But fear not, the same God who opened the doors will walk with you through them. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into destiny. Now, if this message confirms what your spirit already feels stirring, I want to speak to you with honesty. Do not let this word end here. Let it flow further. By liking this message, you agree with heaven's decree and allow it to echo into more lives. By sharing it, you become a messenger, helping another weary soul realize their own door is opening. And by subscribing, you ensure your heart stays anchored, continually reminded of heaven's truths, so that when the next door swings wide, you will be ready. This is not manipulation, it is invitation. You are part of something greater than yourself. And your engagement allows the ripple to spread. Many chosen ones still think their doors are locked, but through you, they may discover that heaven has already commanded them to open. So lift your head, chosen one. Step forward with confidence. The doors are not just creaking, they are flinging wide open, and you, marked by heaven, will walk through them with authority and grace. Chosen one, the greatest strength you carry is not in your might, your talent, or even your endurance. It is hidden in something the world often overlooks: your obedience. Heaven has entrusted you with a secret weapon, and it is not louder prayers, stronger fists, or sharper intellect. It is the simple but powerful act of saying yes to God, even when it costs you everything. From the beginning, obedience has been the dividing line between those who stumble and those who walk in authority. The enemy does not tremble at your knowledge, but he trembles when you obey the voice of God, because obedience activates angelic movement, aligns you with heaven's will, and brings divine power into earthly spaces. It is the key that unlocks doors no human hand can open. Think of the times you obeyed, even when no one was watching. When you forgave the one who hurt you, when you prayed for someone who slandered you, when you walked away from temptation that promised pleasure but carried chains. Those moments were not wasted. Heaven recorded them. Angels moved at your obedience, ensuring that unseen battles turned in your favor. Obedience is costly. Chosen one, it demands surrender of pride, letting go of control, and trusting God even when His instructions make no sense. Yet every time you obey, you plant a seed of power. Those seeds are now beginning to break through the soil, and the harvest of your yes is about to be revealed. The prophet Moses records in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24 to 26, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you." This blessing rests on those who choose obedience. It is not about perfection, it is about surrender. Heaven's favor follows the one who continually says, "Not my will, but yours be done." No, chosen one. This is why your obedience has been tested so fiercely. The enemy knows if he can shake your surrender, he can dull your authority. That is why compromise has appeared attractive, why shortcuts seem tempting, why silence sometimes felt easier than speaking truth. But despite it all, you kept saying yes to God, and every yes strengthened your crown, sharpened your sword, and intensified your light. Remember Abraham, who obeyed even when he was called to leave everything familiar. Remember Esther, who obeyed the summons even though her life was on the line. Remember Jesus, who obeyed unto death, securing salvation for the world. You walk in their footsteps. Obedience connects you to a lineage of power, a stream of glory that flows through history and into your life. Chosen one. Obedience is not weakness, it is warfare. When you obey, you break cycles of bondage. When you obey, you silence generational curses. When you obey, you become a living altar, releasing the fragrance of heaven into the earth. That is why angels respond swiftly to the obedient. They are not drawn to rebellion, they are attracted to surrender. So, though the world may call you foolish, heaven calls you faithful. Though people may mock your choices, angels salute your strength. And the fruit of your obedience will not only bless you but also touch lives you may never meet. Carry this truth in your heart. Obedience is your weapon, your shield, and your key. Use it faithfully. And watch as heaven continues to unfold wonders before you. Chosen one. Before you ever spoke your first word, before you ever took your first breath, your assignment was written in heaven's scroll. Your life is not an accident, nor is it a collection of random events. Every detail, every trial, every season was foreseen and recorded by the one who authored your story. Your name is not scribbled carelessly, it is engraved in eternity. This scroll is not like the books of men, which can be edited or erased. It is sealed with divine authority. What has been written about you cannot be undone by the failures of your past or the doubts of your heart. Neither the whispers of your enemies nor the schemes of the enemy of your soul can rewrite it. Heaven's ink does not fade. What God has ordained, no power of darkness can revoke. Chosen one. This is why you have felt tension in your journey. The scroll holds truths about your destiny that your spirit senses, but your natural eyes have not yet seen. That tension, the gap between promise and reality, has often made you restless, yet it is proof that something greater is already written. The very unease in your spirit is a reminder that you were created for more than what you see now. The prophet Joel proclaimed in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten." This is a declaration written across your scroll. Even what seemed lost will be restored. Even what you thought wasted is accounted for in heaven's story of your life. Nothing is missing. Nothing is overlooked. Your scroll carries both redemption and destiny, woven together with precision. Have you noticed how certain opportunities seem to find you at the right time, or how doors closed suddenly, leaving you confused, only for a better one to appear later? This is the unfolding of your scroll. Heaven knows the timing. Heaven knows the path. The delays you experienced were not rejection, they were alignment with what was already written. Chosen one. Imagine a scroll being unrolled slowly, line by line, word by word. That is your life. Each season reveals another part of the script. At times you wish you could see the entire story, but heaven only allows you glimpses. Why? Because faith is required. Trust is necessary. If you saw the whole scroll at once, you would no longer need to lean on the author. But here is your assurance. The ending has already been written, and it is filled with victory. No matter how dark certain chapters have been, the conclusion shines with glory. You are destined to overcome. You are destined to fulfill what heaven has decreed. And now, chosen one, I invite you to declare your agreement with heaven's scroll in a simple but powerful way. Write this number in the comments: 888. Do not take this lightly. The number 888 signifies new beginnings, resurrection, and divine fulfillment. By typing it, you are saying, I align myself with what heaven has written. I step into the new season already decreed for me. Every digit echoes the truth that nothing in your life is random, that everything is unfolding exactly as God designed. This is not ritual, it is revelation. By declaring 888, you affirm that your story is guided, guarded, and guaranteed by heaven's decree. Chosen one. Lift your head. You are living a scroll-written life, and what is coming is far greater than anything that has been. Chosen one. There is a stirring in the earth that you may have already felt deep within your spirit. It is not imagination. It is creation itself, groaning, waiting, longing for the unveiling of who you truly are. The very fabric of this world knows you carry something that has not yet been fully revealed. The atmosphere recognizes you, the land, the seasons, the times. They all lean forward in anticipation of your rising. This is why you often feel an unexplainable pull, as though life itself is urging you to step into alignment. That restlessness inside you is not dissatisfaction with life, it is heaven's summons. The earth is crying out for you to awaken fully, because your calling is not just personal, it is cosmic. You were chosen not merely to live, but to shift history. When storms rise, when nations tremble, when people groan under the weight of despair, it is not only because of darkness, it is because creation itself is yearning for the manifestation of the children of God. Chosen one. That includes you. You are part of the answer to the cries of this age. Your light was never meant to remain hidden. Your voice was never designed for silence. Your presence was never intended to be passive. The Apostle Paul writes in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, If God is for us, who can be against us? This is more than comfort, it is empowerment. The earth groans, not in hopelessness, but in expectation, because it knows God has appointed His chosen to rise and carry His glory. You are living evidence of this promise. Consider the unease you have felt when trying to settle into mediocrity. You cannot remain content with a small life, because everything around you testifies that you were made for more. The earth groans when you shrink back. The heavens echo when you remain silent. Your very existence demands movement toward destiny. This is also why the weight on your shoulders has felt so heavy. You are not carrying only your own story, you are carrying answers for others. The healing someone is praying for, the breakthrough another is seeking, the hope that seems lost in many lives. It is connected to your rising. That is why creation watches you with such anticipation. Your obedience, your courage, your faith, all of it has impact far beyond yourself. Chosen one. The earth remembers every promise spoken by God. The soil itself has absorbed the tears of generations waiting for deliverance. And now heaven has declared that you are part of the fulfillment. This is not to pressure you, but to awaken you. You are not small. You are not insignificant. You are an answer written into the very story of creation. Even your struggles testify to this truth. The resistance you face is proportionate to the glory you carry. The attacks you endured were not random. They were desperate attempts by darkness to delay the unveiling of your true self. Yet here you stand, preserved, refined, and still chosen. Beloved, feel the urgency of this moment. The earth groans, heaven watches, and angels prepare. Everything is aligning, waiting for you to step forward without hesitation. And as you rise, creation itself will rejoice, because the glory you carry will bring light into places long hidden in shadow. You are not just living a personal journey, you are fulfilling a cosmic purpose. The earth groans for you, and heaven has already called your name, chosen one. Everything that was stolen from you has not been forgotten. Heaven keeps records more precise than any earthly archive. Every tear shed, every dream delayed, every opportunity snatched by the hand of darkness, none of it has slipped past the watchful eyes of God. And now, a divine exchange is underway. Angels have been dispatched with orders of restoration. What was taken will be returned, multiplied, and sealed, so it cannot be stolen again. There were seasons when you felt stripped bare. You looked at your life and saw loss after loss, as if the ground beneath you had been emptied of every promise. But what you did not see was the hand of heaven writing restoration into your future. The theft was temporary. The story was not over. Even while the enemy rejoiced at your pain, angels were preparing the return. Chosen one, understand this. Restoration in heaven is not like earthly repayment. When people attempt to return what they stole, it often comes back damaged, diminished, or incomplete. But when heaven orders an exchange, what comes to you is better than what was lost. The angels are not bringing back fragments, they are delivering fullness. What was delayed is being accelerated. What was diminished is being expanded. The prophet Joel proclaimed in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten." These words echo through time to reach you today. The years you thought wasted, the seasons you thought barren, the strength you thought gone, all of it is being restored. Heaven is not returning only objects or moments. Heaven is redeeming time itself. Chosen one. Do you see how powerful this is? Time cannot be rewound by human hands. Yet heaven declares that even time will serve your destiny. What seemed lost forever is already accounted for. Angels are stepping into places where the enemy once triumphed and are reclaiming them in your name. The tables are turning, and what once mocked you will soon testify of your victory. Think of the relationships that fell apart, the opportunities that slipped through, the resources that were drained from your hands. Each of those was a seed buried in sorrow. Now, heaven is commanding the harvest to spring forth. What was sown in tears will be reaped in joy. The angelic exchange ensures you will not only regain what was lost, but stand stronger, richer in spirit, and firmer in faith. Chosen one. Remember how Job's story unfolded. The enemy stripped him of everything: family, possessions, even health. Yet when heaven spoke restoration, Job received double of all that was taken. His end was greater than his beginning. This is the same principle now active in your life. The losses you endured were real, but the restoration will overshadow them so fully that the memory of pain will no longer hold you captive. Even now, angels are moving with urgency. The exchange is not delayed. What you thought had slipped permanently from your grasp is already returning in new form. Expect doors to open, resources to flow, and opportunities to reappear, not as copies of the old, but as divine upgrades. Beloved, The angelic exchange is not simply about you receiving, it is about God's justice being displayed. The enemy thought he had won, but every theft will be repaid with interest. Your testimony will shine as evidence that heaven does not forget, and that restoration is always greater than loss. Chosen one, you are rising, and the light within you cannot be hidden any longer. It has been increasing quietly, like a fire growing beneath the surface, and now it bursts forth with unstoppable force. Darkness has tried to cover you. Voices have tried to silence you. Circumstances have tried to crush you, but none of them have succeeded. Why? Because you carry a light that is not your own. It is the flame of heaven itself. When you walk into places, even without speaking, the atmosphere shifts. People may not always understand why they feel unsettled or moved in your presence, but it is because your light exposes what is hidden. Shadows cannot remain comfortable when you arrive. Chains cannot remain unshaken when you open your mouth. Your very existence is a declaration that the kingdom of darkness is losing ground. This is why the battle has been so intense. The enemy has tried to dim you, to exhaust you, to convince you that you are too broken to shine. But what he failed to realize is that broken vessels allow even more light to escape. The cracks in your life are not flaws, they are channels for glory. You shine not in spite of your pain, but through it. The voice of the Lord declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come. The Lord's glory rises upon you." This is not a suggestion, it is a command from heaven. It is time to rise, to let your light blaze unapologetically, to step into the fullness of your calling without fear. Chosen one, do not underestimate what your light does. It not only exposes darkness, but it also guides others. There are those wandering in confusion, desperate for direction, and your life will be the lantern that points them home. You are not just surviving for yourself, you are blazing a trail for countless others. Understand this, your light is unstoppable because it is fueled by the eternal Spirit of God. Even when you feel weary, the flame does not die. Even when you feel hidden, the glow continues to spread. And now, heaven declares that your season of hiding is over. You will rise, you will shine, and nothing will be able to conceal what God has placed within you. And now, beloved, I speak to you not only as one delivering a message, but as one urging you to carry this light further. If this word resonates with your spirit, let it move beyond you. By liking this message, you allow the flame to spread into more lives, igniting other chosen ones who need to be reminded of their light. By sharing it, you place a torch into the hands of someone stumbling in the dark, and by subscribing, you choose to remain connected, continually fed with words that keep your flame burning bright. I also ask you to seal this with a comment of faith. Write, "I choose my crown." These 4 words are not just text, they are your declaration that you will not shrink back, that you will walk boldly in the light heaven has given you. Each time you type it, you are affirming to yourself, to heaven, and even to the forces of darkness that you will not hide, you will rise. So, chosen one, lift your head and let your light shine. You are unstoppable, unshakable, and crowned with glory in the midst of the battle. The time is now. Arise and blaze like the torchbearer heaven created you to be. Chosen one. Crowns are often thought of as rewards given after the struggle ends. The world says you must win first, endure first, or finish first, before you can wear one. But heaven does not operate by the world's standards. Your crown is not delayed until the battle is over. No, it rests upon you even now, in the very midst of conflict. You fight not as one hoping for victory. You fight as one already crowned, already chosen, already sealed by divine authority. This truth explains much of your journey. Why has the enemy fought you so intensely? Because he sees what rests upon your head. He recognizes the authority you carry, even when you feel unaware of it yourself. Your crown shines in the spirit, and darkness hates it. That is why opposition rises without warning, why challenges come suddenly, why betrayal aspirced so deeply. It was never random. It was a reaction to the glory you wear. Think back to the seasons when you felt most defeated. You thought you were stripped of everything: strength, joy, even hope. Yet if you look closely, those were the very moments your crown shone brightest. Not because you felt powerful, but because heaven's power rested on you. This is the mystery of the kingdom. Weakness reveals strength, and struggle reveals glory. The Apostle Paul charges in the first letter to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 12, "Fight the good fight of faith. Take hold of eternal life." These words are not just encouragement, they are strategy. They remind you that your crown is not future, it is present. You fight from a place of victory, not toward it. Eternal life is already yours, and the crown is its visible sign in the Spirit. Chosen one. Let this truth sink deep into your heart. Crowns are not just for celebration, they are for warfare. A crowned warrior fights differently than one who is waiting for honor. A crowned warrior knows their authority, carries themselves with assurance, and steps into battle not with fear, but with certainty. That is who you are. You do not fight for validation. You fight because you are validated already. This is why you must never underestimate the weight of what you carry. Your crown is not ornamental. It is functional. It is a sign to angels that you are under divine assignment. And it is a declaration to demons that you are untouchable except by heaven's permission. This is why attacks rise but cannot consume you. This is why storms roar but cannot drown you. This is why enemies plot but cannot succeed. Your crown is a shield, a mark, a banner that says, chosen, sealed, unstoppable, and yet, chosen one. The beauty of your crown is not that it exalts you, but that it glorifies the one who placed it there. When people look at your endurance, your resilience, your unexplainable strength, they see the reflection of God's hand upon you. Your crown testifies not of your greatness, but of His. It points upward, drawing attention to the King who crowns His beloved, even in battle. So do not despise the conflict. Do not curse the struggle. See them as the backdrop against which your crown gleams all the brighter. You were never meant to wait until the war ends to shine. You were meant to shine in the war itself. And as you do, heaven smiles. Angels rally, and creation watches in awe at the spectacle of a crowned warrior refusing to bow. Lift your eyes. Chosen one, feel the weight on your head, not of defeat, but of destiny. You are crowned in the midst of battle, and nothing can take that from you. Chosen one, your story does not end in uncertainty. Your destiny has already been sealed in heaven, from the moment your name was spoken in the eternal courts. Angels were released with assignments tied to your life. You are not drifting through existence. You are walking a path already written, already guarded, already secured. Your name echoes in heaven's chambers every time you pray. The sound rises like incense before the throne. Every act of faith, no matter how small, is recorded. Every tear has been gathered. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not ignored. You are remembered by the one who formed you before time began. The seal upon your life is unbreakable. It does not matter how many storms you face, how many mistakes you make, or how many voices rise against you, the seal remains. Heaven's decree is final. Once marked, always marked. Once chosen, always chosen. Angels recognize the seal. Demons tremble at the seal. And heaven watches over you because of the seal. This seal is not hidden. It radiates from within you. Though invisible to human eyes, the spiritual realm recognizes it instantly. It is your eternal signature, declaring that you belong to God. No counterfeit can imitate it. No darkness can erase it, and no trial can diminish it. The Apostle Paul concludes in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness." That crown is not only for Paul, but for every chosen one who remains faithful, and that includes you. Your crown is not merely promised, it is guaranteed. Look back. Chosen one. The journey has been long, filled with breaking, birthing, warfare, and glory. Yet through it all, you remained. You stood when others fell. You held on when surrender felt easier. And because of that, your destiny shines brighter than ever. The seal over your life has not weakened. It has only grown stronger. Your angelic helpers remain by your side. They are not temporary companions, but eternal allies, assigned to walk with you until your purpose is fulfilled. Their presence is proof that heaven invests heavily in what it values, and heaven values you. Do not fear the future. What lies ahead is not chaos, but fulfillment. The scroll of your life continues to unfold, and its final lines are written in triumph. You will see restoration. You will walk in victory, and you will finish with your crown intact. Chosen one, stand assured. Eternity already knows your name. Heaven has called it. Angels have moved at it, and creation itself has responded to it. You are sealed, chosen, and crowned forevermore. Chosen one. As this journey of words draws to a close, remember this: everything you have heard has not been chance. It has been heaven's whisper, a divine reminder of who you truly are. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to fade into the background. You are marked, sealed, and carried by the eternal love of God. You have walked through fire, yet the fire did not consume you. You have been crushed, yet the crushing only released fragrance. You have been rejected, yet rejection only revealed your divine protection. You have been broken, but every fracture made room for greater glory. All of it was preparation for the destiny now unfolding before your eyes. The angels are not distant figures of Scripture. They are present guardians of your path. Every step you take is watched. Every word you speak carries weight. Every moment you endure shines as testimony of your crown. Do not doubt their presence. You have seen the evidence in the protection you cannot explain and the victories you could not win alone. Lift your head. Chosen one. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead. What you have suffered will be repaid with joy. What you lost will be restored in fullness. What you feared will bow before your faith. You are unstoppable because heaven has decreed it. You are unshakable because eternity has sealed it. You are chosen because your name has been called in heaven. Now walk in the fullness of your destiny. Shine without apology. Live without fear. Carry your crown boldly. And remember always, you are not walking alone. You are walking with heaven by your side.